When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Hey, welcome back to the Process Improvement Podcast. I'm glad you're here today because we're going to talk about something that I think is genuinely holding a lot of people back. And it's not a skills gap, it's not a lack of opportunity, and it's not the job market. It's misinformation. Specifically, it's a set of outdated assumptions about Six Sigma certification that have been floating around for years, and no matter how much the industry evolves, these myths just refuse to die. So today we're going to take them on one by one. 5 of the most common misconceptions I hear from professionals who are either considering Six Sigma certification or who have already talked themselves out of it. And by the end of this episode, I want you to have a much clearer picture of what Six Sigma actually looks like in 2026. Not what it looked like 20 years ago, which is unfortunately where a lot of these assumptions are coming from. Let's get into it. Myth number 1. Six Sigma is only relevant if you work in manufacturing. I hear this one constantly, and I understand where it comes from. Six Sigma was born on the factory floor, Motorola developed it, GE scaled it, and for a long time the case studies, the textbooks, and the training examples were all rooted in manufacturing environments. So if your entire frame of reference for Six Sigma is from that era, it's completely logical to assume it's an industrial tool. But here's what's changed. The core of what Six Sigma actually teaches, identifying defects, measuring process performance, finding root causes, and eliminating variation, that's not a manufacturing skill. That's an organizational skill. And organizations in virtually every sector have figured that out. Healthcare is one of the fastest growing segments for Six Sigma adoption right now. Financial services has been using it for years. IT operations, retail supply chains, federal government agencies, higher education. They're all applying Six Sigma frameworks because they all have processes, and where there are processes, there are inefficiencies, and where there are inefficiencies, there's room for Six Sigma. If you've been telling yourself Six Sigma doesn't apply to your industry, I'd challenge you to look at what's happening in your field right now. Chances are someone in your organization is already using this methodology, or will be soon. The question is whether you'll be ahead of that curve or catching up to it. Myth number 2. You need a black belt to make a real career impact. Okay, so this one is a little more nuanced, and I want to be careful here because I'm not dismissing the black belt. The black belt is a serious credential. It qualifies you to lead enterprise-level improvement initiatives, manage teams of green belts, and drive change at a scale that most professionals don't operate at in their day-to-day roles. It's a significant achievement, and it opens real doors. But the assumption that anything short of black belt is somehow a lesser accomplishment, or that you should skip the green belt and hold out for the full black belt before you put anything on your resume, that's where I think a lot of people go wrong. Here's the reality. The green belt is where most professionals see the fastest and most tangible career returns. And the reason for that is simple. The green belt is designed for people who want to lead improvement projects within their existing role without leaving their primary function. You don't have to become a quality manager. You don't have to move into a dedicated process improvement position. You bring these skills into the job you already have, and you become measurably more effective at it. Operations managers, project leads, department supervisors, administrative directors, these are the people who are getting promoted after completing a green belt program. Not because they suddenly become process improvement specialists, but because they bring a level of analytical rigor and structured problem solving to their work that their peers simply don't have. So if you've been waiting to pursue Six Sigma until you're ready for the black belt, I'd encourage you to reconsider that logic. The green belt isn't a stepping stone to something better. For a lot of professionals, it's exactly the right credential for exactly the stage of career they're in. Myth number 3. Getting certified requires weeks of in-person training. This one is outdated in a very specific way. It used to be true. Not that long ago, the standard path to Six Sigma certification involved attending multi-day workshops, often off-site, often requiring travel, and almost always requiring either employer sponsorship or a significant out-of-pocket investment.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Hey guys, today I'm interviewing my cat about his perfect bistro food. Percy, you seem to be a big Perfect Bistro fan. Care to comment? Totally. What do you like about it? You love the high-quality ingredients? And the delicious flavors, of course. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Listen to Percy, guys. Visit perfectbistro.com to try it for your cat.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
For a lot of working professionals, that model was simply off the table. You couldn't take a week away from your job. Your employer wasn't going to pay for it. The logistics didn't work, and because that was the experience people had or heard about from colleagues who went through it, that's the mental model they carry. Even today, I talk to people who are surprised to learn that you can complete a fully accredited Six Sigma certification program entirely online, entirely self-paced, without ever setting foot in a classroom. The delivery model for professional certification has fundamentally changed, and for Six Sigma specifically, that shift matters a lot because of who it makes accessible. Nurses working rotating shifts. Small business owners who can't take time away. Early career professionals who are building credentials on their own without employer backing. These are the people the old model excluded, and they're the people the new model is designed for. If the logistics of certification have been your hesitation, I'd encourage you to take another look at what's actually available now. The barrier to entry is much lower than most people assume. Myth number 4, Six Sigma is being replaced by Agile. I genuinely enjoy this debate because it comes up so often, and the answer is almost always the same. This is a false choice. Agile and Six Sigma are not competing methodologies. They solve different problems at different levels of an organization. Agile is fundamentally about how teams plan, adapt, and deliver work in environments where requirements change and speed matters. It's a project execution framework. Six Sigma is about how organizations identify and eliminate the root causes of process defects. It's a quality and process improvement framework. These two things can, and regularly do, coexist in the same organization. In fact, some of the most operationally mature companies I've seen are the ones that have figured out how to apply Agile principles at the team level while maintaining rigorous Six Sigma practices at the operational and quality leadership level. They're not fighting over which methodology is better. They've recognized that they're not even competing for the same problems. The version of this myth that really concerns me is when it influences hiring decisions or professional development investments. When organizations start assuming that Agile adoption makes Six Sigma redundant, they start underinvesting in process improvement expertise. And eventually they feel the consequences of that in their quality metrics and operational costs. Six Sigma isn't going anywhere. It's evolving, integrating, and in many organizations expanding. The Lean Six Sigma integration alone has kept the methodology at the center of continuous improvement conversations for well over a decade now. Don't write it off based on a trend cycle that never actually materialized. And myth number 5, and this might be the most damaging one of all, you need work experience or employer approval to get certified. This myth is particularly frustrating because it most affects the people who would benefit most from certification. Early career professionals who are trying to build credentials before they have a track record. Mid-career workers who are changing industries and need something concrete to demonstrate transferable skills. People who want to take ownership of their professional development without waiting for their employer to decide it's a priority. Now, I want to be fair here. Some Six Sigma certification bodies do require documented project experience. Some require employer verification. There are legitimate programs that are structured that way, and they have their reasons for it. So if you looked into Six Sigma certification at some point and hit a wall because of experience requirements, that may have been a very real obstacle with the specific program you were looking at. But it is not a universal requirement. There are fully accredited, professionally recognized Six Sigma certification programs, including the one offered by the Management and Strategy Institute, that are open enrollment, require no prerequisites, and require no employer involvement whatsoever. You decide you want to get certified. You enroll. You complete the coursework on your schedule. You earn the credential. And here's the thing I want to leave you with on this one. Waiting for organizational buy-in before investing in your own professional development is one of the most common and most costly delays I see professionals make. The people who use certification to demonstrate initiative don't usually wait to get the support. They earn it by going ahead and doing it. The credential creates the conversation. The credential opens the door. You don't need permission to make yourself more valuable. Thanks for listening to the Process Improvement Podcast. If you found this episode useful, share it with someone who's been on the fence about certification. Chances are one of those 5 myths is exactly what's been holding them back. We'll see you next time.